A local teenager lured into some woods and murdered.
The victim, a 14-year-old girl, found shot and burned. As WKRG News 5's Kate Sherman reports, 2 other teens are now charged with her murder.
Investigators say 14-year-old Danica Troy disappeared on November 30th. Deputies found her remains 2 days later in a wooded area in Pace, Florida, off Kimberly Road. Santa Rosa County Sheriff Bob Johnson says her body was badly burned and surrounded by shell casings.
Needless to say, not only the person who found the body was traumatized, our major crimes detectives have to see stuff like this. You don't want to go out and see a burnt child with bullet holes.
You can see how isolated this area is. Investigators say this location was deliberately chosen, and that surveillance video and witness interviews helped them piece together what happened the hours before Danica Troy was killed. A 16-year-old and a 14-year-old were arrested and charged with premeditated murder.
Here's where it even gets worse. It's bad enough you kill a 14-year-old, you're 14, you're 16, shoot her multiple times, then they set her on fire.
According to the arrest report, the boys planned the murder together. The report says they intended to only shoot her once, but the 16-year-old continued shooting her. When interviewed, the 16-year-old said his feelings were hurt after the victim called him a worthless gangbanger.
I can tell you this, we're going to be hopefully working with the state attorney's office to get these individuals charged as adults. You do an adult crime, you need to do adult time.
In Santa Rosa County, Kate Sherman, WKRG News 5.
New details about a possible motive in the murder of a teen girl in Santa Rosa County, Florida. 16-year-old Gabriel Williams and 14-year-old Kamari Blevins are facing murder charges. The sheriff says deputies got a call about a burned body in the woods near Kimberly Road and Pace. The victim, 14-year-old Danica Troy, was initially reported missing. Now, an arrest report says when investigators spoke with Blevins, they say he told them he and Williams planned the murder of Troy, and the plan was to shoot her once, but Williams kept shooting. That's when the report says Blevins told investigators they burned the girl's body and left. Now, that same report says deputies also spoke with Williams. They say he told them Troy made hurtful comments about being worthless, which upset him. The sheriff wants the teens to face adult charges.
This is from Santa Rosa County, Florida. The sheriff wants to charge 2 teens as adults.
It's after what he calls a horrific and planned out murder of a 14-year-old girl. Our Shelby Myers in the studio now with what she found out.
Shelby, how young are these 2?
Well, in Easton Cameron, Santa Rosa County Sheriff Bob Johnson says 14 and 16-year-old boys killed a 14-year-old girl, dumped and burned her body. And now they're trying to figure out why.
It's really horrific, actually.
Santa Rosa County Sheriff Bob Johnson stopping mid-sentence to express disbelief at the homicide he says happened days ago.
On December 1st, around 7 a.m., Danica Troy, a 14-year-old, was reported as a runaway by her mother in Pace, Florida. Unbeknownst to the mother, unfortunately, Danica was murdered the previous night.
Sheriff Johnson says deputies received a call about a burned body in a wooded area off of Kimberly Road in Pace. Follow-up interviews confirmed the victim was Danica Troy.
And here's where it even gets worse. It's bad enough you kill a 14-year-old, you're 14, you're 16, shoot her multiple times, then they set her on fire.
16-year-old Gabriel Williams and 14-year-old Kamari Blevins are being charged with first-degree premeditated murder. Johnson says Williams stole his mom's handgun and used it to shoot Troy. Sheriff Johnson says the 3 teens went to the same school and were at one time supposedly friends. As far as a motive, the sheriff says the story the 2 teens are telling investigators just doesn't add up.
Doesn't fit the forensics or any facts of the case, so we don't have a legit motive.
Sheriff Johnson is working with the DA's office to charge the 2 teens as adults.
You do an adult crime, you need to do adult time.
Williams and Blevins are currently being held in the Department of Juvenile Justice.
All right, you guys, so this story is about Danica Troy. She was a 14-year-old girl in Florida. And she had 2 friends named Gabriel Williams, 16 years old, and Kamari Belvin, who is 14. So over the Thanksgiving weekend on social media, Danica typed some comments toward Gabriel and said that he was worthless and he's a gangbanger. So those comments upset him and hurt his feelings. So he decides to get with his friend, 14-year-old Kamari Belvin, and plot this murder. So on Sunday, November 30th, Danica Troy went to go meet with Gabriel and Kamari, and she took her electric scooter with her. So Gabriel grabbed his mother's gun and took it with him. So they met in the woods, and Gabriel shot at Danica. Okay, he shot at her. And, he just kept shooting her. And then once he realized that Danica was deceased, him and Kamari decided to light her on fire and leave her there. Okay? Just leave her there. So basically, they set her on fire on a walking path near Kimberly Road in Florida town. This was Sunday. On Monday, December 1st, her mother called the police and said her daughter was a runaway. Okay? All along, her daughter has been dead for about probably a couple of hours, probably 12 hours at this point. So after they set the young girl on fire, Kamari goes home and his mother catches him sneaking into the house. And she asked him, "Where have you been?" And he just said, "Hey, I've been smoking a cigarette." But she smelled no smoke on him, which was very damning. And so on Tuesday, a man went on the walking path where she was. She had to be a visible sight, right, for the man to find her. And he called the police, and they recognized Danica by her shoes and her electric scooter. That's how they find out this young girl's identity. And so now Gabriel and Kamari are being charged with first-degree premeditated murder. Okay. And so I'm going to keep an update with the story because this is very sad over comments that somebody made. But hell, what do I know? I'm just a talking head. Check out this commentary from these TikTokers. Have a great day, YouTube.
This is absolutely insane and something that we shouldn't even have to talk about. 2 Florida teens charged with murder after shooting girl, setting her body. On the left is Gabriel Williams, who is 16. On the right is Kamari Blevins, who is 14. They are being accused of luring 14-year-old Danica Jade into a wooded area. Now, Danica's mother reported her missing on Sunday when she realized that Danica and her electric scooter, her burned body, was found Tuesday. Now, do you know why they killed her? They killed her because Gabriel Williams said that she was saying hurtful things about him. So in his heart and his mind,
2 Florida teenagers are being charged with premeditated murder after allegedly luring a 14-year-old classmate of theirs into a wooded area and firing at her multiple times before setting her body on fire. 14-year-old Danica Troy was reported missing by her mother on December 1st, 2025, after it was discovered that she and her electric scooter were not at home. The next day, on December 2nd, 2025, a passerby who was walking along a wooded path in Pace, Florida, ended up coming across her body. This passerby immediately contacted authorities, and the Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office deputies arrived on scene. While at the scene, deputies found a black scooter with red trim and a pair of Nike Air Force One shoes, which matched the information and description provided by Danica's mother in her missing persons report filed the day prior. According to the Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office, after the news of Danica's death started circulating around, a cooperating witness, a fellow classmate, actually came forward and shared that 16-year-old Gabriel Williams and 14-year-old Kimari Blevins had planned to lure Danica into the woods and take her life. Upon being interviewed, Kimari immediately requested a lawyer when asked about the events that took place in that wooded area, which ultimately led to his arrest. Gabriel, on the other hand, reportedly confessed and stated that Danica had made hurtful comments about him that upset him. The plan was only to fire at Danica once, but she ended up being fired at and hit several times according to reports. The 2 boys then doused her body in gasoline before setting her ablaze. The weapon used was a hand gun that Gabriel had stolen from his mom. Both teens have been formally charged with first-degree premeditated murder and are currently being held by the Department of Juvenile Justice as this investigation continues on. The state's attorney's office plans to present this case to a grand jury in order to determine if the teens should be charged as adults or children. Danica's mother expressed heartbreak over her daughter's sudden and tragic death. She said that it's horrible the fact that she now has to plan a funeral for her daughter when she should be out buying Christmas gifts for her. A GoFundMe page has been set up to support Danica's funeral expenses. That link will be in my bio.
A young 14-year-old Florida girl was considered a runaway, but she was actually killed and then set on fire by 2 of her young classmates. This story is absolutely horrific. This was in Santa Rosa County, Florida. 2 Florida teens were charged yesterday on Thursday, December 4th. And this was days after they allegedly killed a 14-year-old girl and then set her on fire. 16-year-old Gabriel Williams and 14-year-old Kimari Blevins, pictured here, allegedly lured 14-year-old Danica Troy to a wooded area. And that's where they shot her multiple times. They then allegedly poured gasoline all over her body and then set her on fire. According to reports, Danica's mother reported that she was missing after she noticed that Danica and her electric scooter were nowhere to be found. Danica was reported as a runaway on Monday, December 1st, and her burned body was reportedly found the next day in Pace, Florida on Tuesday, December 2nd. It was since said that a witness came forward and said that the 2 male classmates, Gabriel and Kimari, actually plotted Danica's murder, so it was premeditated. The witness claimed that Kimari said the initial plan was to shoot Danica once, but that Gabriel continued to shoot her, and they then burned her body and left the area. This was reportedly on a walking path near Kimberly Road in Florida town. On Tuesday, December 2nd, a man who was walking along the wooded path reportedly found Danica's badly burned remains. Investigators said they identified Danica based on the shoes she was wearing and the fact that her electric scooter was found close by. According to reports, Gabriel allegedly told investigators that Danica had made hurtful comments to him about him being worthless and a gangbanger, and that those comments really upset him. Okay, that doesn't give you the right to take somebody's life. It was further said that Gabriel confessed to killing Danica. Now, Kimari told deputies that he and Danica had some type of argument on social media before Thanksgiving and that he then blocked her on social media. It was said Gabriel stole the gun they shot her with from his mother, but at this time no charges are being filed against the parents though. Both of the boys are reportedly charged with premeditated murder in the first degree. They are both being held at the Santa Rosa Juvenile Detention Center. The state's attorney will report the case to a grand jury to determine if the 2 boys will be charged as adults, but I absolutely think they should be. A GoFundMe has now been set up to help Danica's family during this awful time if you're interested in donating. My prayers are with their loved ones and that justice is served to the fullest in this case. These boys never need to be able to walk the streets again. For more true crime, be sure to follow and subscribe over on YouTube.